Hey, I want to help you understand how to make better offers and offers that make sense. The formula and structure I'm about to present will help you clearly define why investors turn down most deals from wholesalers and why sellers cry outrage and why you don't get to close on your deal. This is Wholesale 101 Making Offers, presented by yours truly, myself, Patrick Lee, registered mentor and real estate business consultant with the Better Business Bureau as an A-plus company. Look, when it comes to making offers and what most people find when they do their research is all on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram, right? Because they're all doing it the free way, right? But those formulas are generalized and may not be for your market or your investor type. So let me share the truth with you. From the wholesaler's point of view, using the 70% rule, let's say, for example, we only factor in certain expenses, and those expenses considered is estimated ARV, asking price, rehab costs, your assignment fee, and then it's our max allowable offer to the seller, right? Well, this is considered the old way and has been tested and proven that is doing the math backwards. Without seeing that you're not only leaving money on the table, but you're actually miscalculating your offer and costing your investor additional fees. Costing your assignment fee in the process, that's crazy. Do not use the wholesaler's POV. Look, let's take another look at another example. What if it's the investor's POV or the investor's point of view? The expenses that they factor in is their total investment. And where does that leave them and how far from the actual ARV of the property to see room for their profit and not suffer additional expenses, right? So the things that they consider are estimated ARV, asking price, plus rehab costs, plus closing costs, which is typically 3 to 6% of the asking price at title. And then it's escrow and transfer fees, which is typically 1.5% to 2% of the asking price at title. This is the new way and the only way you should be making offers. Thinking like the investor only because your end result is to assign it to an investor. This is the way you should do your deals. If you utilize the reverse wholesaling strategy in combination with the investor's POV, you're going to start making reliable market value offers with realistic intentions. All right, check this out. Let's put these two examples side by side and understand why the 70% rule does not apply to 90% of the deals you make. As you can see with the wholesaler's POV, you're only looking at things from a cash only point of view. But let's be realistic. No one is using their own money unless they plan on living in the house and fixing it up over time, right? So your role as acquisitions and using your property evaluation skills, you have to be able to see that most investors use hard money loans or OPM or other people's money. This offers them leverage, a safety net, and savings on out-of-pocket expenses, right? So as a wholesaler, our target investor type is fix and flip investors, right? And 9 out of 10 times, they're only using HML and PML to close on a deal. And typically they buy at 60 to 65% of the ARV. So look, using the math provided in this comparison, you can see that you would need to adjust your asking price. If your chosen buyer wants 60 to 65% of the ARV all in, not proven as a discount, but shown as an offer that offers insight and a clear view where they need to draw the line when using and meeting HML or PML requirements for their first position loans. No real investor buys deals with bad credit, and no real investor does not have no more than 5 properties in their portfolio. So be careful. Be sure to get on a phone call, validate, and research all your buyers. Look, having connections to buyers is not just having a list that you can pull from anywhere. You need to qualify and have a quality list of people that you have talked to and shared a conversation with that's more than 5 minutes. Once you know all the expenses involved, remember, these are the things you need to consider. Estimated ARV is primary. Without that, the formula will not work. And if you need help getting the accurate ARV, you can use add value, which is just simply rehab plus asking price, or using the county's assessed estimated value. Then you need rehab costs. I typically use Deal Machine because it helps me get about $1,000 to $2,000 close on the estimated rehab fees. And then you need to do the math of the asking price times 3 to 6% equals closing costs, and then escrow and transfer fees, which is 1.5 to 2% of the asking price. All right, cool. Once you know all those details, just type it into the percentage calculator and you can see the difference and then just accordingly in like 5 minutes or less. Look, and the provided examples, the original deal was 70% of ARV using that formula. But using the reverse wholesaling method and using the investor's POV strategy and collecting and having that conversation to understand their buy box, I found out they want to buy at 60 to 65% of the ARV all in. So instead of the original offer of all in at 240,000, as you can see in example one to the left, all I had to do was adjust my price to $210,000 in example to the right, or my new asking price from 172,500 down to 142,500. That makes it a deal that my buyer's willing to buy at. This is why you let the seller make the offer first. That becomes your starting point to run the right numbers and make the right offer. Them saying no to your calculations doesn't mean that your numbers are off. It just means they're not ready to sell and they're not highly motivated enough. Look, thanks for watching. If you want access to the percentage calculator and want to work with me to help you find those needles in a haystack with a magnifying glass, I know exactly how, what to do, and why it works. Let's connect. Sign up for free, and I'll send you everything you need to get started. Speak to you soon.